Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of the viewers from around the world. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of correlation and regression, we will be taking a look on the market development so far to draw the inference to figure out which is the currency which is trading in the most bullish or most bearish manner against the US dollar. So we will be comparing the major currency crosses with the USD to see how things are shaping up and how we can take advantage of the market developments in the upcoming North American trading session. So let us now get started. This is the Euro USD chart drawn on the 5-minute candlestick time period, and here I have added the SMA 12 and the SMA 24 to get the average price of last 1 and 2 hours respectively. So using this price, then we can see how things are shaping up, if the momentum is on the bullish side or on the bearish side, and with the help of that along with the range, we can then figure out the optimum entry and exit point. So here, if we consider the Euro USD's price move so far, earlier in the day there was this sharp move on the higher side after the announcement of the monetary policy from the Bank of Japan, and as expected, the Bank of Japan didn't really make any policy changes, but it increased its band of the JGB, and as a result of that, there was sharp appreciation seen in the Japanese yen. But if we compare the impact of that announcement on other major currency crosses, this impact was short-lived, and here the Euro USD pretty soon reverted back to where it was trading prior to the announcement, and then it declined to some extent, and after that it started to climb, and it has continued with that momentum on the upper side for quite some time now. Now, if we consider the Euro USD's current price trajectory here, it is mostly trading in a narrow range with lower support coming into play around 1.06 range, which has been holding well for last couple of sessions. So in today's session also, we are observing the same price trend. It is finding support on this price band around 1.06. So within that, we have these range bound moves happening in the Euro USD. So on the lower side, it makes sense to go for the buying strategy. Buy on dips can be applied as long as it doesn't really break past these immediate support zone. So till that remains in place, we have strong reasons to believe in this continuity of this range bound momentum. And even if we don't really get any big moves, still I think the range is quite good enough, 30-40 pips. So if we are buying closer to this immediate low, swing low, then of course on the higher side we do have some room to get a decent profit. So here the trajectory of the Euro USD for foreseeable future, or you can say immediate future in today's session in particular, we have to keep looking for the buying opportunities. And as we have this prior swing low quite intact, and even now, here the Euro USD reversed course after making this low at 1.059. So as we have seen for many times earlier in the day, as well as for last couple of trading sessions, the level is holding well, and in that context we can do try to go for the buy trades closer to this immediate support zone. Now if we have to take the trade in Euro USD, we will have to see if it is the strongest bullish bet which we can take against the dollar, or if we have better choices, better opportunities emerging somewhere else which we can try to exploit. So for that we will have to compare the Euro USD, AUD USD, GBP USD, NZD USD, USD CAD, USD JPY, USD CHF, all these currency crosses to see how things are shaping up, and only after that we will be in a better position to judge for ourselves and then trade in a manner which will have the profitability on the higher side. So we have to take our chances. We have to see how things are shaping up and then try to take trades accordingly. So let's start comparing all these major currency crosses. Now, if we compare the Euro USD's price trajectory here, this immediate swing high has come in at 1350 GMT, and after that it made this 4 hourly low at 1510 GMT. Now this timeline has to be compared with other major currency crosses to see how things are unfolding in the other major currencies. So we will have the opportunities therein, also pointing to the situation, and then we can make the trading decision. So let's compare it with the AUD USD first. The AUD is also following the similar trajectory, but it is slightly more bearish for the day. Here, if we look at the magnitude of decline for the AUD earlier in the day, it declined quite substantially compared to the euro. So it is slightly more bearish than the AUD. Even if we look at its timeline, it is almost similar, but the magnitude of decline is a lot more. So as a result of that, I think we have strong bullish momentum, comparatively speaking, in the euro compared to the AUD. Even this decline here, if we compare its magnitude, it is almost half a percentage point, but for euro it is much less. For euro it is around 0.2%. So we have reasons to believe that euro USD is trading on a much stronger footing compared to the AUD, and as a result of that, it is better to give preference to the euro ahead of the AUD if you are simply looking for scalping opportunities with support coming into play on the lower side. So this is the case for the euro. Now let's see how things are shaping up for the GBP. GBP is also following similar price trajectory, and its swing high came in at 10:55 GMT. After that, this immediate low is at 15:10 GMT. Now, if we compare its price trajectory to the euro, there is not much of a difference. The swing high was just recently made for the euro. For GBP, it was made earlier in the day, so that is the difference here. So we can take the preference for the euro on that count, that in the near term it has been slightly more bullish compared to the GBP. And if we look at the decline or the magnitude of this decline, it is also slightly more. So on both this kind count, the timeline as well as the magnitude of decline, we have slightly more bullish tendency being observed in the euro compared to the GBP. So here we have this ranking in place now with first preference for any scalping opportunity, for any buy on this trade to be taken. It should be with the euro and then followed by the GBP. On the third, we get this AUD, as AUD is trading mostly bearish compared to the euro and the GBP. So for us, it is better if we go for the euro ahead of the both these currencies. But before we can finally settle for euro, of course, we have a lot more currency crosses to consider. And JPY, I think, which we will be seeing later, is also going to be one of the contender for any kind of bullish trade to be taken against the dollar. Now, if we look at the NZD USD, here the NZD USD is also holding a similar price trajectory, but it is almost close to the day's low, which is not really the case for the euro and even for the GBP. The immediate swing low is not that close, and it is now even holding well comparatively speaking. So the NZD is not really looking that strong, and even its price formation is slightly more bearish, and it is I think it is more in line with the price trajectory of the AUD USD. So if we look at the decline magnitude, it is half a percentage point, and after that this prior swing high has come in quite early, and after that it has gone into a negative price trajectory. So we will have to be careful with the price formation of the NZD, as it is showing slightly more bearish bias, and as a result of that it will be better idea to stick with the euro, and followed by the GBP. Then comes AUD, as NZD is looking even more bearish than the AUD. Now we shift our scale, and we will have to look at the chart in an inverted manner now, as we have this USD CAD in place, with USD being the first currency. So if we now look at the USD CAD's price trajectory, the CAD is also looking a bit weaker, and if we look at its current price formation, this immediate swing low came in at 14:15 GMT. After that, it has now touched this 4-hourly low just recently. So that is something to keep in mind, and I think it is looking stronger compared to the even euro. So we have much more bullish tendency in the CAD, but right now it is in corrective phase, with this correction pushing it at the lowest point of last 4 hours. So we will have to wait and allow it some more time to consolidate first, and only after that we will be in a situation to go for the new trade. But looking at its price formation, the trajectory of the price, which has been slightly bearish, now we will have to compare the timeline here, and this immediate swing low has come in at 14:15 GMT. Let's compare it with what's the timeline for euro. So here it happened even later than the euro. So as I said, the CAD is stronger even compared to the euro against the dollar, but right now it is in the corrective phase. So we will have to give it some more time for the consolidation to unfold, and only after that we can then take our chances. Let's see the situation with USD CHF. USD CHF USD also is in corrective phase, but it is on the weaker side compared to the CAD. The CHF is trading with a more bearish bias, and as a result of that, I think we will have to rank it quite behind. We have the most bullish strength against the dollar in the CAD, followed by the euro. But if we now compare the CHF's price formation, it's prior swing low came in at 11:35 GMT, which is quite earlier in the day, and after that it went into this consolidation phase with correction pushing it even lower. It is not really far off from the day's high at 0.9307. So as a result of that, we will have to trade carefully with the USD CHF, and now if we have to in the put it in the context of other major currencies which we have seen so far, we will have to put it behind, I think, somewhere closer to the GBP, as GBP and USD CHF have similar price trajectory, but the CHF is apparently even weaker compared to the GBP. So we have now the situation where CAD is the best placed to go for the bullish trade against the dollar. Then comes the euro, followed by the GBP, and then comes CHF, and then we have Asia Pacific currencies, the NZD and the AUD. NZD being the most bearish of all the major currencies which we have seen so far. Now the price trajectory of the USD JPY. The JPY has been one of the strongest currency. There is no doubt about that in today's session. But now if we compare its immediate price formation, it made this day's low at 131.99, and after that it went into this slightly corrective phase, and then we saw this fresh swing low being made at 132.17, and after that it is showing some strong rebound. Now it will be interesting to see, but as the things stand, the JPY is one of the strongest currency to trade with against the dollar, and as a result of that, we will do well to keep looking for the opportunities to go for the trades, and whenever possible we have, if this swing high intact for next couple of hours, if we don't really see any further break above the 132.90 in coming couple of hours, then I think we can go for the initiation of the new short sale trades with the possibility that in the North American trading session, we might see fresh break on the lower side below this immediate swing low formed at 132.17, and then we can even expect the USD JPY to decline towards this day's low. So that possibility is there, and as a result of that, if we want to exploit the situation to our advantage, we will have to keep searching for these opportunities wherein we will have the probability on our side, as we have the most bullish tendency being observed in the US JPY against the dollar, and as it is holding this range, and if we don't really see any fresh breakout on the upper side beyond this consolidation range, then we will have more reasons to believe in the continuity, and then the initiation of the trade can be taken. Now let's see the equity space, how things are shaping up there. The Dow is having bullish tendency so far. If we look at the price formation, it has rebounded almost 1 percentage point from the lower levels, which were established after the start of the European trading session. So here we have slightly bullish bias at the moment in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but it is more of an range bound instrument, and we have to go for scalping opportunities rather than looking for the situation where we can trade in a confident manner in on a directional basis, as we have these consolidation phase with slight bias being on the bearish side. So we will do well to keep looking for short selling opportunities, but of course we have to then determine which one is the best placed of all these major indices to trade with, and for that we will have to compare the US equity indices with their timeline and the magnitude of their recent moves in mind. So as using that, we can then do the comparative analysis and figure out which one is the best positioned instrument to trade on which side. Now, as I said, we will have to keep looking for short selling opportunities, as we have the major bias on the bearish side for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So let's compare it with the price formation of the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is also following similar price trajectory with this immediate swing high coming in at 1425 GMT. Prior to that, it had made this day's low at 740 GMT, and now this fresh 4-hourly low has been made. Let's compare it with the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones made this at 1530 GMT. Prior to that, the high came in at 1425 GMT, which is almost similar. So there is not much of a difference in terms of the price formation for the S&P 500 as well as for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So more or less both these equity indices futures have followed the similar trajectory so far in the day. So if we have to now decide, I think there is not much difference, so it's simply a matter of your taste. But of course, before we can conclude, let's consider the price formation of the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is looking slightly more bearish compared to the two equity indices, the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, and I think that is also apparent from its lower time frame chart formation. It has made this immediate low at 1610 GMT, which is quite recent, and its prior swing high also came in at 1325 GMT, which is quite earlier compared to these major equity indices, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. So we have most bearishness prevalent in the Nasdaq at the moment of all these three key equity indices of the United States, and as we have major price formation showing the bearishness with this trend on the bearish side, I think it will be a better idea to keep looking for short selling opportunities with these immediate swing highs in mind. So unless and until there is any clear break, a big swing break above this immediate swing high, it will be a good idea to keep looking for opportunities to go short while keeping the stop loss with a decent enough buffer above these immediate swing high. So that's my take looking at the current price trajectory of the Nasdaq, and with this I'm also wrapping up the session as we have done with the correlational aspects of major equity indices. Prior to that, we also saw the developments for the currency space, where we have seen JPY being one of the strongest currency with the bullish momentum against the dollar, followed by CAD, and NZD being the most bearish for the day so far. So I'm now signing off for the day. I hope you have been able to observe this chart analysis, and you will be in a better position to trade with the information provided. So thank you all for joining in. I will be back tomorrow with the fresh analysis